Hello everyone, Professor Scaly here, and welcome to the continuation of my journey through Alternate Rundown 3 with 3 bots. It's been a little over 2 months since I posted the first video, and I imagine that some of you may not have seen that one quite yet, which if that is the case, I highly recommend you pause this video, go back and watch part 1, and then come back and watch this video afterwards. Link to the first part will be down below in the description for those of you who are interested. Now, in today's video, we're going to be tackling the last 2 levels of the rundown, R3C1 and R3D1. And these 2 levels were, well, it was an experience to say the least. I can't say much more without spoiling things, so how about we cut this intro and just drop down into C1 and see what happened about 3 whole months ago. Dropping into C1, I was really only concerned with one portion of the level, specifically the ending bit where I would need to initiate a charger error alarm in order to get into the zone with my HSU. And I was worried about this part because 1, bots don't really perform exactly like you would hope they would during an error alarm, and 2, bots aren't really the best at dealing with charger type enemies. More often than not, chargers will try to rush you and your teammates down so they can get within melee range. And once they get within melee range of the bots, they will typically put away those lovely little shotguns you equip them with that could very easily just blast those chargers away, and instead they'll pull out their melee weapon and try to smack them back. And trying to go mano-a-mano with a pack of chargers is not really the best idea. So I was worried that if I didn't have a lot of resources going into it, and I didn't quickly find the HSU and get out of that area back to extraction, I would end up meeting my demise. But before I could worry too much about the ending of the level, I would actually have to make my way to it. So starting off in the level, I used the first terminal to figure out where my HSU is located at, as it could be 1 or 2 different zones, as well as the first color keycard I would need. And once I knew all the information, I went through room by room, clearing out most, if not every single one of the enemies with melee, maybe a little bit of shooting here and there. And once I got everything from the first zone, I went into the side zone with my keycard and basically did the same thing. Melee killed some enemies, snuck past a few others, grabbed resources and the keycard, and with everything in hand, I left and I went back to the security door that needed the keycard, plugged it in, and then I quickly set my defenses for the alarm. Only 2 different routes enemies could take to get into the room. I had 2 sentries, as well as some mines and some seafoam grenades, so pretty easy to set up for this one. And yeah, the alarm went by quite well. It wasn't until the tail end of it, when I was clearing out the last few enemies, that the bots decided to give me a friendly reminder of how special they can sometimes be.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Oh goodness, I took a break from GTFO for a little bit, now my aim sucks. No. Actually wait, if my aim sucks, then we just do all reliable.
What are you aiming at? What are you aiming at?
My gosh, the bots are... Whoa, I don't know what's worse, me being a real bad aim today or the bots being a real bad aim today. Normally, I would laugh at them for how many shots they missed on that last shooter there, but I realized that I've also done the exact same thing before, more times than I would like to admit, so I decided to keep my trap shut and just continue moving further into the level. Which, when it came to the next zone, there were a fair amount of enemies in the first room, and there was all that infectious fog, so I decided to just simply shoot my gun to alert all the enemies and let them come out to me. Once everything was dead, I then told the bots to throw some fog repellers, as I didn't have any myself, and upon doing so, I learned that I secretly had some NFL players on my team. We'll just... Oh, fog repel. Let's see how accurate you were. I was looking right back there. What? What in tarnate? Okay. Dada, try another one that way, please.
Easy!
They just... Wait, do they just always do that? Do they always just yeet them like super high into the sky? If Dada hasn't already signed a contract with the team out there, I highly recommend you all start drafting, because holy crap, Dada has quite the arm to him. He was able to throw those fog repellers far, even further if that ceiling wasn't in the way, because it kept bouncing off of it, because he kept throwing it up so high into the air. A little bit awkward, but hey, it made it work and I was able to get through the first few areas. Although the further I went into the zone, the worse things got, because I kept making mistake after mistake after mistake, losing ammunition, losing HP, and then I came across the scout of the zone.
Oh, my dude, you just got pranked. Bet you didn't see that one coming, huh?
Oh! It's not. Oh! That's bad. I thought that was a one shot to the head no matter what. No, it isn't. You have to hit them in the back of the head. They spawned up ahead. Okay, you know what? It's fine. They broke down a door I was going to use for an upcoming alarm, but it's okay. Like, it is what it is. I have a nice little funnel here, although the bots are probably going to be a little bit of an issue. Oh, hello, Giant. That, too, might be a little bit of an issue, since I don't really have the ammo to deal with the Giant. Get him, bots. Please don't get smacked by him. Oh my gosh, bots, why? No, my meds. I've told countless people in this community that I don't pay a lot of attention to weapon statistics, and yeah, that bit me in the butt a little bit right there. Sure, I do generally know what guns are and aren't capable of, but I should have realized that the Hellgun does not have nearly enough damage to insta-kill a scout to the front of the head. Back of the head, yes, one shot will do it, but front? No, you need 2 shots for it to kill. And because of that mistake, I lost even more ammunition and even more health. And this put me in a pretty bad position. Now, thankfully, the next upcoming alarm was pretty easy to deal with as I had a lot of tool refill still left in the sentries, and I was going to use a funnel strategy anyway. And after the alarm was finished, I decided that since I had the color keycard I needed for that other security door to the optional resource zone, I would just simply go in there. Because even though the scout was in the first room with a ton of enemies, I could just simply shoot the scout from a distance to the back of a head with the Hellgun, and then just fall back, shut a door, and mine it, and let the mine deal with most of the other enemies. But it wasn't until I started walking near the security door, I realized that I was missing something crucial. Oh, you know what I just realized? This is bad. Ah, shoot. I don't have a Hellgun shot, which means I can't just take out the scout here in one shot. Crud. Yep, I spent too much of my Hellgun ammunition during the previous alarm to the point where I literally didn't have any of it left, which meant I was unable to actually kill that scout safely. So I had to fall back a bit into the infectious fog to look for an ammo pack I left behind. Thankfully, I was able to find it pretty easily, and then I came back and I decided to just simply shoot the scout to the back of the head and pull the first room. Okay, there you go. I did 2 shots just in case. Bots, get in here. Come. Okay, you're dead. I'll take that. Huh? That's not at all where I want that mine. Okay, that was scuffed, but it's fine. Rest in peace, Bishop. You will be missed, but hey, on the bright side, I don't think you had too much HP going into that. So I got him back up on his feet, went to the first room, resupplied a little bit, and then I just did the same trick for the second room. And thankfully, I didn't have to worry about any of the bots running into that room or clipping through the door, so that one went by much more smoothly. Once everything in the second room was dead though, I took some time to grab the resources and resupply as best as I could. But once everything had been taken care of in there, I then started going down the route to the zone with the HSU in it. And along the way, it was okay to start off with. Dealing with chargers with a knife is a little bit awkward because you need to do 2 fully charged hits from behind, the first one being while it's asleep so you get that ×2 damage multiplier. But if you pull it off and that charger is isolated, you could deal with a lot of them just by going melee. I had to shoot every so often, but it wasn't too big of a deal. Until I got into the second zone, because there I got a little too aggressive, which caused me to make a tiny mistake. And then I thought I was going to pull off the big brain play to remedy it, which just ended up making everything so much worse. So I see all those guys there.
Well, we're really fucked.
Oh, and you woke up? You know what? I'm just going to chill back here. Bots? Okay. Bots? What are you doing? What? Okay. That was really weird. Bots? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I thought the bots would have been capable of just simply mailing that one charger and killing it, but nope, I don't even know what they did. I really couldn't even see. It looked like they just stood there and let the charges wail on them. And yeah, like I said, I didn't want to shoot my gun because then I wake up everything beyond the open room divider and that would have been an issue, but looking back on it, I really should have just shot right off the get-go. I had a nice funnel away, I had a decent amount of ammunition, and that mistake cost me a lot of HP. So much to the point where, unfortunately, I didn't have what I needed. Going into the air alarm portion, it was awkward. It started off okay. I was blasting my way through a lot of the enemies. I was able to kill the scouts really early on, so I didn't have to worry about it waking up. But because I had practically never been in Zone 17 before, I did not know where most of the HSU spawns were, and I didn't know where the terminal was either. So I spent a lot of time running around trying to find it, manually searching for it, and I actually ran past it a few times and completely missed it. So after wasting a lot of my ammunition and losing a lot of HP, and also the air alarm progressively getting harder since it only starts off with 3 chargers, but it ramps up to 6 per wave, I finally found where the terminal was, but at that point, unfortunately, it was a bit too late. It's in C up above? Oh, come on. Well, that's not what you want to see. No pun intended. I need to push my way into this room because I need to stop the spawns from being in there. Yep, like that. See up above by the looks of it. Is there one here? Oh my gosh, it's the one right next to the door. Alright. Oh my gosh, died. Yeah, you almost died. Alright, bots, we need to push our way through. Come here, come here. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Bishop, no. My goal here, it's a bit risky of a play. I want to run as fast as I can to see if I can get the bots to like teleport up with me. There goes Dada. Ah, this is not at all what I wanted. Oh, shoot. Come on, Hackett, we gotta go. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's real bad.
Oh, well. It was nice while it lasted, right?
I'm dead. No way! Ah, fudge me! And because of my lack of map knowledge and low resources due to so many mistakes at this point, I finally experienced my first wipe within this entire journey. But I was determined to not stay down. So after coming up with a few new strategies and looking back on everything I did wrong, I dropped back into the level with newborn confidence and I was ready to give it my second attempt. Going into the second run, that newborn confidence I had was even further boosted when I hopped onto a terminal and saw that my HSU this time around was located inside Zone 20. Because whenever I play R3C1, I find that most of my runs inside Zone 20 go pretty smoothly, while a fair amount of my runs inside Zone 17 are pretty sketch at best. So I was really excited about this one. I figured, hey, I know what I'm doing, I know what not to do and how to avoid making stupid mistakes along the way, and I have the zone I much prefer. There's no way I fail this run. So starting off, I played pretty much the exact same way as I did before, just a little bit slower and more safely. Went through the zones, dealt with the enemies, grabbed the resources. I went to the side zone, went for that colored key card. Once I had it, I then went back into the main area, set up exactly how I did before for that alarm, although I think I repositioned the sentries just a little bit so they would have better sight lines, and with everything set up exactly how I want to, activated the alarm and got to work on the scans. There was a slight hiccup halfway through the alarm though, and I want to succeed in this challenge too. Part of me, when I failed in that last round, thought, okay, well, I failed, that's unfortunate, that's where, you know, the challenge comes to an end. But it's like, I don't really want to do that. Oh, bots, please, no. Oh my gosh, focus on the enemies. Not trying to heal me. But even then, this hiccup wasn't too big of a deal. I think the bots wasted 1 or 2 total uses of med packs as they all tried to heal me when I only needed 1 of them, but even then, not too big of a deal. There were plenty of med packs later on in the level, so I wasn't too deterred. Going further into it, again, play pretty much the exact same way. Pulled the first room in the zone with a lot of infectious fog in it. This time I used my own fog repellers to get through there, as I knew that I could be more precise with my throws than the bots could be, and I tried to make sure that any room I went through, I didn't just simply wake everything up immediately, and if I had to, I would try my best to make sure nobody on the team would take any damage, which for the most part, I was pretty successful with. But as I made my way through, I then started setting up for the second alarm door. It was pretty much the same thing as the first, using a funnel strategy with the 2 sentries, although the door I funneled them in through this time was a little bit different because I was on the opposite end of the room. But once everything was up, activated the alarm, got to work on the scan, and the scans were a little bit troll this time around. I had to spend a fair amount of ammunition, which I didn't think would be too much of a big deal, because after I finished the alarm, I looked at it and saw that I was doing pretty good on resources. So good to the point where I decided that I would not need to go into the resource zone this time around. So to save some time, as I did not really have all the time in the world to complete this challenge today, I decided to continue down the route to Zone 20 and then just grab the resources along the way, which for the most part went by pretty well. A lot of the chargers were isolated, so I was able to deal with them quite easily. I think there were a few moments here and there where I did wake up a few chargers, but I learned my lesson from the first run, and when that happened, I just went guns crazy, because I figured it would be much better to just simply lose the ammunition than to lose all of that HP. Now, when I got here, I analyzed the door a little bit, looked through it, and kept an ear out because I wanted to figure out where that scout was. Because Zone 20 just consists of 2 rooms, and they are separated by an open room divider. And after waiting a little bit, I determined that the scout was in the second room, which isn't exactly what I wanted to see. Because my plan was, if it was in the first room, just wait for it to get nearby, open it up, and then just simply shoot the scout with a hell gun, which would pull pretty much everything in the first room and maybe even some of the things in the second room, and I could just simply hold out there with my sentries while I had some mined and seafoam doors behind me, giving me some protection from the error alarm waves. Then once everything was dead, I could just rush it to the second room, shoot again to kill anything in there, and then I could just hop out to the terminal, which I knew where it was, ping the HSU, do the scan, and then maybe grab any resources nearby, and then very quickly make my way out of the zone before the charger waves start escalating to 6 enemies per wave, and I would have a much easier time getting back to extraction. So let's see how that worked out for me.
Bad news or the bad news? Explain yourself. According to the pinger, we're already dead.
Oh my gosh, bots, please. Stop trying to melee them. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. Okay, so some plans are better on paper than they are in practice, but hey, you know what? It's fine. We took a fair amount of damage, we lost some ammunition, but we were at least able to get the HSU scan done, and we were on our way back to extraction. Now, the problem though was on the way there, enemy waves kept spawning in front of me over and over and over again, which forced me to spend a lot of my ammunition, as I was running much further ahead than the bots were. Which this became a very, very big issue when I made my way back to extraction. Oh, that's a lot of them though. That is a lot of chargers. Also, I heard a scream, so it sounds like oh my gosh, I don't know if I actually make this or not. See on the scan, please. Actually, no way! No way! I lose right at the end! No way! Are you kidding me? Yeah, it hurts a lot getting so close to the end and then wiping like that just because I ran out of ammo. And it was only me too. The bots had plenty of ammunition left. The problem though was that there were so many charges coming after us because of the actual extraction alarm that initiates when you get in the scan, which I happen to forget about, and because the bots don't rapid fire all of their ammunition and then quickly reload and keep on gunning the enemies down, those chargers were really easily able to overwhelm us on extraction. If I had even another like 15% in my Hell gun and my PDW, I might have actually been able to hold out for the last few seconds I needed and finish that scan. But nope, even though I conserved a lot of HP throughout that run, I did not conserve a lot of ammunition, and that ended up getting me killed. But I refused to stay down. I wasn't going to let this level beat me 3 times in a row. So I finalized my strategies, saw what I did wrong in that second run, and once I was good to go, I dropped down in one last time. Going into this third attempt, I knew this was going to be the one. I saw all the mistakes I made in the last 2 runs, and I knew what I needed to do to ensure that those same mistakes were not made once again. And I also even improved in a few other areas to ensure I would have more resources for the ending of the level. I realized I always had a few leftover mines as well as a fair amount of sentry ammunition. So I decided that when it came to the alarm doors or pulling the rooms I would have to pull, I would let most of the work be done by the bots and the sentries, because I could go through my ammunition incredibly quickly. But if I do that, then I'm more than likely going to die on extraction again because I won't have the ammo I need to defend myself against all those chargers. So when I pulled that first room filled with infectious fog, I let the sentries do some good work as well as the bots, and I tried to limit how many times I myself would shoot so that I would have more ammo for the end. Clearing out the rooms, I was very cautious not to get hit left and right by being a little bit too aggressive because I wanted to conserve those med packs. When it came to the bots even, I tried to ensure that not every single one of them was holding onto a med kit, because if they were, then I would find myself in another situation where the moment I or one of the bots drop below 80% HP, everybody rushes over to them to try to heal them at the same time, which just results in med pack charges being wasted. So I was very cautious on how I played from start to finish, and I had an incredibly clean run. A few mistakes were made here and there. Bots were trying to steal my resources from time to time, my valuable 5-use medkit that I wanted to hold on to, but other than that, not many mistakes were made. I once again skipped the resource zone as I saw no need to go into it, as I had more than enough resources to complete the level, and going through the charger zones, I melee killed almost every single one of them, and when I did have to shoot, I made sure I didn't shoot until all the isolate chargers were dealt with first. And after a fairly clean run, I once again found myself at the security door with the error alarm tied to it. Now, in this run, I did have to go back into Zone 17, which I was a little bit iffy with, as again, I would have preferred to get Zone 20. But this time around, I knew where the terminal was, and I had a feeling that I might even know where the HSU spawn was going to be at, but of course, I wanted to check on the terminal first. So I activated that security scan, went in, blasted my way through the first room, ran over to the terminal, and sure enough, after a quick ping, it was in the same spot as it was in my first run. It's in C up above, okay. I don't have any mines. That's fine. I'm gonna wait here. I need to get through there, but I can't afford to die to these guys. Alright, bots, come with me.
Do it! Do it!
Come on, kill me! I'm here!
I'd rather not wake up this room, but I have a feeling that we're gonna have no choice here. Yep.
Look at all those chickens!
Oh my gosh. Okay, bots, we're gonna push through. Oh my gosh. Okay, bots can hopefully recover from in there. We're gonna have a lot of stuff coming after us. It was a little bit dicey right there. I almost got overwhelmed by all those chargers, and we definitely took a lot of damage, and even Hackett himself went down. But we were able to stabilize. Me pushing back out to the first room ensured that either the airwave would be from behind me further in the zone, or it would be far away enough that I could actually push out and make some ground. And strategically, I even left a 3-use medkit on the way back to extraction. So I was able to run through, grab that, and heal myself and the bots up a little bit, and at that point, I was basically home free. I didn't get any charger waves spawning in front of me for a while, so I just ran through the infection and made my way back to extraction. Alright, I'm going to heal up the bots a little bit because I don't want them to just get licked by the chargers and basically insta-die. Alright, there we go. Now I should make it. I don't think there's pretty much any way I die here.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
At least I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I should be fine. I have ammo to hold out here for a bit. I can keep the chargers at bay. I don't have both of the sentries down for some weird reason, but it's alright. Got some mines. Hey, there we go. Keep on staggering. Alright. Whoa, there we go. That was actually quite a bit more challenging. A bit more than I thought it would be. But we made it. And with that, the level was completed. As they say, third time's the charm. I struggled for a few hours to get that completion, but once I got it, I was very, very satisfied. But with R3C1 out of the way, there was only one level left to complete. The final challenge, R3D1. R3D1, the final level of the rundown. Going into this one, I was beyond nervous. And it wasn't just because it was the final level, but because of what was in it. I would have to deal with an error alarm, a birther who would automatically wake up, a stealth portion with a ton of dangerous enemies in it, as well as a queen birther right at the end. And I knew that every single one of these situations, while not difficult to deal with a proper squad of 4, dealing with it with 3 bots is not the easiest thing in the world. I've seen how the bots perform during error alarm or birther fights, and it's not really all that comforting, but I knew that it could be done. So dropping down to the level, my first task was to deactivate that error alarm by taking the neonate all the way to the end frame. So as soon as I hit the ground, I immediately ran over to a door which I would need to open up for the upcoming alarm, which thankfully I was able to get to it in time. And then I spent a little bit of time looking around for resources as I knew there were a lot of ammo packs along the way, and because I wouldn't be able to just simply speed run my way through every single one of these rooms, I would want as much ammunition as I could to deal with all of those enemies. Then once I found the resources, I took the neonate over to the blood door and just dropped it off there, and then I used the terminal in the very first room to figure out which one of the 2 zones my colored keycard was in. Once I knew that, I went over and set up for the alarm by placing down my sentries and placing a mine on the door. I shut it, and then I ran over to the security door and activated it immediately. The thing is though, I did not realize one of my bots decided they wanted to take the scenic route. Oh, Bishop's going the long way around. Is that giant up there? Despite that awkward pathing there though, the alarm wave did not spawn in a unfavorable position. I was actually a little bit worried that they would spawn off of the bot in the room with me, but hey, thankfully that did not happen. It was just this simple giant and that was it. So I blasted my way through the enemies, took care of every single one of the scans, and once everything was dead, packed up the sentries, and I went into the zone. Now, this zone could be filled with a lot of dangerous stuff, small enemies as well as giants, and it's covered in pitch black darkness and even some infectious fog. But thankfully, after pinging my key on the terminal, I saw that it was in the very far back room, which was pretty easy to get to. So I pushed my way through to get to that key card, and as soon as I got it, I got out of the zone because I did not want to spend any more time than I needed to in here, as it was really easy to get ambushed here due to the darkness. Once I had the key card, I ran over to the blood door, placed a few mines on it, opened it up, and it was pretty easy to deal with this as well. And at this point, I needed to make my way to the far eastern side of the zone where I would find my next security door. Along the way though, some of my valuable doors for the upcoming alarms unfortunately got broken down. But I had a feeling this would probably happen, which is why I decided to run 2 sentries instead of 1 sentry and a C-foam watcher. So even if some of the doors got broken down, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I brought the neonate all the way over, took some time to grab some resources and deal with the enemies, and then I set my defenses and got to work on that class 6 alarm. And after it was dealt with, I just took some time to make sure most of the enemies were dead, and all that was really left at this point was to just make my way through a zone filled with a lot of infectious fog. But I made sure to grab a stack of fog repellers as I knew how unreliable the bots could be sometimes with them, and I just made my way through there bit by bit. And once I made my way to the far end of it, I did the full team scan, went up the stairs, and plugged the neonate in right away because I wanted to get that error alarm off as fast as I could. And even though I knew the error alarm would spawn in a birther, I had a little bit of time to grab the resources in the room to resupply myself and also deal with any of the enemies that are still left alive from the error alarm. Then I just had to set myself up in order to fight the birther because I had a feeling she would rush in sooner or later. I think ideally I want her to come into the room fully. I use machine pistol to deal with the babies, or maybe I just go straight to the burst cannon and try to kill her, or maybe get a stagger on her before she births. Okay, no, it is. Yep. Please let me shoot. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to happen, but alright. Oh, one of the bots is dead. That's not good. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die too if I'm not careful.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción, yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente. Con una pasión.
You need to get them up, boss.
Con una pasión tan fuerte.
Oh, I need to kill her before she bursts again.
Ahora sigo cantando y sigo gozando. Yo sigo cantando.
Oh no, that's not good. I need to heal myself. Oh. Oh my gosh. Alright, you get him up. Where's that ammo? Here it is. Bertha, just chill right there in the corner for just a moment. Oh my gosh. She's peeking. There you go. Now you're dead. That was so stupid! Oh my god! That was an incredibly scuffed fight. Honestly, if it wasn't for all the resource packs in that room nearby, I more than likely would have died here. But thankfully, I was able to kill her without wiping, and also there were a ton of resources in the zones I had already gone through up to this point. So I spent a pretty lengthy amount of time taking that fog turbine and going through pretty much every single one of the zones, grabbing all the resource packs I left behind. Filling up everybody's ammunition, putting tool refill into the sentries, healing people up a bit, although I try not to heal us up all the way as I wanted to hold on to med packs for later. And once I had gotten everything situated, it was time to continue further on into the level by dealing with the next alarm door. Which this alarm wasn't all that difficult, but it did take a while to finish it because my scans went all over the place, which put me in a little bit of an awkward situation because the next zone I would have to make my way through was filled with pretty much nothing but chargers, giant chargers, hybrids, and 2 charger scouts. And originally, I just planned on blasting my way through the zone with the burst cannon, but after seeing how low my ammunition was, I was afraid that if I did try to shoot my way through, I might not have enough to actually complete the rest of the level. So I went with the risky method of sneaking my way through. And the first room did not have a single charger scout in it, so it was actually pretty easy to make my way through that. And then as I was getting closer to the next door, I started praying to the warden that the second room wouldn't have that many enemies in it, since most of them were in the first room. But of course, this is GTFO, and when do any of your prayers ever get answered with a positive? Seems like they're on the far other side. The fact that he hasn't done a tag yet tells me they're not nearby. Come on. Are you joking? Oh my lord, there's so many of you. This was not good. I had a lot of enemies in that second room, and both of the charger scouts were basically puppy guarding that security door. But I didn't want to risk shooting because I still was in the mentality that I wouldn't be able to blast my way through every single one of these enemies. And even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to shoot both of the charger scouts as they were in the same room, and I did not have any C-foam grenades or trip mines. And after analyzing it a little bit, I figured that the safest route would be to take the left side of the room and make my way over to the security door. It's coming all the way down. Oh, that's just a one-way staircase. There. There's one charger there, and it's just a small one. I think I can kill him if need be. Both of you, please go the other way. Yes. Kidding me, Hackett? Hackett, what are you doing way over there, dude? Please, teleport. Just run all the way up here. Run all the way up here. Now. Hackett! I am about to remove you from the lobby. I swear, Hackett. I will not let you ruin my run right here now at the end. Hackett? Please? Today? Now? Hackett! Oh. Okay. My God, my heart was racing there. Oh, even looking back at the footage, my heart was pounding. I was so incredibly worried about Hackett screwing me over because he decided to play a real good game of red light, green light with all the enemies. So I was sitting there on that full team scan with the other two bots, terrified that he wouldn't get over to me in time before that Charger Scout walked back up the stairs and extended its tentacles right next to me. Which, if it did, I might have been able to avoid it, but there wasn't really a whole lot of wiggle room up there. Thankfully, though, I was able to sneak past this, and after my heart rate slowed down a little bit, because I won't lie, my heart was beating out my chest a bit, I grabbed some resources, resupplied, and then I set up for the next alarm door, which I wasn't really too worried about, because there's only one entrance into the room, and the only type of enemies that spawn in during this alarm are regular shooters, and very rarely a giant striker or two. And during this entire alarm, not a single giant striker showed up, so I didn't even have to worry about that. I really just had to make sure I didn't go too close to that door and shoot, otherwise I might have woken something up in the previous room. And once I had finished dealing with all the scans and all the shooters were dead, the only thing really left to do was to resupply the bots and myself, and then get ready to fight that Queen Birther. And this is where I was really nervous, because again, bots are not the best at dealing with birthers, and the fact that I had to fight a Queen Birther, which spawned in even more baby strikers than a regular, and had a whole lot more HP, yeah, I didn't know what to expect, in all honesty. I had a burst cannon, so I had a really good weapon to deal with it, and I did take a machine pistol so I could more easily deal with the babies, but I didn't know if this was going to go over well or not. I decided my best bet was to probably just place both of my sentries down, go into the room and get a few burst cannon shots on her while she was birthing, then fall back behind the sentries, deal with the babies, and then try to rush her down. But as we all know, things do not always go according to plan. Here we go. Yep, there she is. Alright, now I gotta chase her down. Is she dead? Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh! That was so much better than I thought it was gonna be! Even though I burst cannoned Hackett there by accident. Oh my god. I did it! In this situation though, things did go according to plan. When I realized she was about to get a second birth off, I was super nervous. I just started shooting down there, hoping I would kill most of the babies, and then as I was shooting, I just realized I'm not getting any hit markers. There's no babies. And I realized the music was gone. I was so ecstatic to realize that I was basically home free. The only thing left was to just simply deal with the blood door. At this point, I think the only thing really left to do is just sort of let the rest of the footage play out so you can hear my very enthusiastic reaction to realizing that I just beat this challenge. Okay, run bots, run. We need to go. Yeah, double mines killed most of the enemies. It's done. Oh my gosh, I did it! I did it first try too! Oh, we're taking the fog turbine with us. This is a celebratory moment. Oh! First attempt! I actually did it! First try! I genuinely did not expect it. I thought with how much I was struggling with C1, I thought something stupid was going to happen. I thought I was going to die to the air alarm. I thought Queen Bertha was going to mess my day up. I thought I was going to burst can the bots and kill them or something. Like, I did not expect to first try that. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy right now. And with that, my journey through Alternate Rundown 3 with 3 bots finally comes to its conclusion. And I must say, this was a whole lot more enjoyable than I initially thought it was going to be. I love playing GTFO, but I don't really enjoy playing it all by myself, because while it does push me to my limits, whether I'm doing true solo or playing with 3 bots, it lacks something that I value so much more in this game, and that would be making memories with other people. Experiencing the funny, the saddening, the intensity, the stupidness, the hecticness, bugs breaking the game, or whatever it might be. Experiencing any of that with at least one other person is what makes this game so enjoyable to play. So when I don't have at least one other actual person on my team, it takes away from it quite a bit. Being completely honest with you all, after I finished I think R3A2, I considered dropping this project and just saying, nah, I'm gonna scrap the idea and just play through the rest of it with other people to collect the guide information and guide footage. But I decided that I wanted to push myself a bit and do something a bit different, which is why I continued on with it, and I'm really happy that I did. Because even though it was a little bit boring here and there, it was overall a really pleasant experience. I learned a lot about the bots, which there's still a whole lot more I could learn about them, but there's so many things I finally got to experience firsthand while playing with them, and it was a really enjoyable experience. I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm glad I stuck through with it all the way to the end. Now, this isn't me saying I'm going to do this again with a different rundown, because hell no am I doing this, as all the other rundowns would probably kick my butt in the moment I step into the B tier missions, and I don't have the time to dedicate, nor the hair to afford to pull out, as Alternate Rundown 3 already got rid of most of my hair. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing this challenge again, but I am really happy that I at least did it in the first place, and I was able to share with every single one of you. Even if it did take me about 2.5 months to finally get part 2 out. But seeing how we're wrapping up this journey, I think it's about time I wrap up this intro as well. So thank you every single one of you who watched this video all the way to the very end. I do hope you were able to enjoy it. If you did, hit that like button. It lets me know you enjoy this type of content that's a little bit different, and it might help me get some ideas on what to do for future challenges, because there's definitely a lot I could do with this game once I get a little bit more time and, I catch up a bit on these level completion and level guide videos. Subscribe to the channel if you hope to see more from me. I do have another special video planned to be released sometime shortly after this one. Not going to say anything in regard to it, but it is something I've been wanting to work on for quite a while now, so I'm excited to finally get it done, and I hope you all enjoy it when it does come out. And until that video is released, I hope you're all doing well, life is treating you properly, and I guess I'll see every single one of you in the next video in a few days from now. Take care until then, everybody.